Mia, I need to work here. This is my workplace. I need to scoot over.
I would say it's safe to say I have started writing.
Can't believe we've already reverted back to our old ways.
Like written out my character plot line, the story, gotten like a few thousand words in, and then just stopped.
Pancake butt.
As I got older, I felt
showing you how to make two really cute Halloween pillowcases. I actually have been trying to finish this for a while, but I wanted to get it up before the end of this week. They're pretty simple. One is going to be a cobweb pillowcase, and then the other one is going to be a Grim Reaper pillowcase, which actually turned out to be one of my favorites. And to get started, you're going to need the pillowcase pattern that we made back in the day, and some fabric, some cobwebbing or cobwebs, some Mod Podge, and I bought some little spiders from Walgreens, and of course some hand sewing thread. So make sure you line up your pattern piece with the selvage edge of your fabric. That's going to be the woven side, and your grain line should be parallel with where your zipper is going to be going. So if you need a refresher or you didn't see the pillowcase pattern, I'll link the video below, that way you can get that pattern piece created. So you want to cut out all of your pieces, both back pieces and the front, iron everything out to make sure it's nice and straight, and make sure you cut out your interfacing pieces. One interface piece goes onto the top of your lower back piece, and the other one goes on the top of your upper back piece. So I'm just kind of tearing up my cobwebs just to kind of spread it out and make it look cool. I decided to only do half because I still wanted to be able to see my pillowcase underneath. Now I'm going to cut off the excess webbing. And it should look something like this. And now I'm going to sandwich my back piece, which already has my zipper on it, and I'm going to put that on top of my cobweb piece. And sew all the way around until it comes out like this. Now the cobwebbing is kind of sticky, so it'll stick to a bunch of junk. So I put the Mod Podge on top of it. That way it would make it a little bit more stiff and kind of like a plastic feeling. And now I'm taking my little spiders and rearranging them just randomly on top, and then I'm going to hand sew their little legs down onto the case. I thought they looked a little bit plain, so I put a little bit of glitter on their legs just to kind of glam them up. And now for our second pillowcase. So repeating the same steps, cutting out your pieces, ironing everything out. You're also going to need some metallic fabric paint. I got this one off of Amazon, and I had some extra sequins, so I decided to use those. And of course, you'll need a paintbrush and some creepy cloth. I got this from the dollar store. And then just go online. I looked for an image of a skull. I didn't want to get anything too complicated to like cut out, so I ended up going with this. And I'm going to cut out all of the black lines and black pieces. I went over this with a Sharpie because I wanted to thicken up the little skinny lines on the skull and also kind of connect the little lines around his skull so they're not just free floating. And after I finished all of that, I'm going to cut it out so it should look something like this. Now taking some Scotch tape, I'm going to tape down some of the loose pieces on my skull, that way it doesn't like float around while I'm trying to paint him. So I just take some tape and roll it up and then stick it underneath and then firmly press it down. And now taking my paintbrush, I'm going to start dabbing on the fabric paint. I wanted to try to get a good thick layer of the gold paint, but I also didn't want to make it too solid looking. So now I'm going to cut the teeth out. The teeth are a bit more meticulous to cut out, so I waited until I had the whole thing painted first, and then I went and individually cut all of the teeth. And then I just pressed down his teeth and I just tapped on the fabric paint. So now at this point, you could just take the creepy cloth and just kind of drape it over him. I was going to go ahead and put the creepy cloth around him, but I thought he looked a little bit boring, so I kind of made him a little bit more exciting looking by sewing on some sequins onto his eye. And then I went ahead and draped the creepy cloth on top of his skull to make it look like he was wearing a little cape, since he is the Green Reaper. And I hand sewed his rags to the pillowcase. Now at this point, I went ahead and cut the excess piece of fabrics. And then I sandwiched that together with my back piece with that zipper already installed. And then I went and made sure that all of my pieces of the creepy cloth was like flat so that everything would get sewn correctly. And then I sew the whole thing up. Make sure when you sew up these pillowcases you leave the zipper half open, that way you can still flip your pillowcase inside out. And it's done! And there you have it, 2 creepy Halloween pillowcases to inspire you with your DIYs for this Halloween. I also have another thing coming up which I'm pretty excited for. It's a costume challenge which I hope I can do, so stay tuned for that.